Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with producer Sydney Bowles, BNEWS reporters Tad Stefanak, Robert Paris, and John Vias, and Anthony Bagney. Peter Brown with the weather, Gretchen Carey with the community calendar, and Anthony Matos with sports. Thank you for joining us. Happy June, by the way. Burlington firefighter Tyler Falconer has resigned from the fire department effective May 27. Falconer was placed on leave in March following allegations of animal cruelty related to his South Boston dog boarding and training business, Falco K9. Falconer was arraigned on Wednesday on animal cruelty charges and has pleaded not guilty. He's due back in court on July 18th for further proceedings. The town of Burlington doesn't comment on personal matters and didn't say anything further about the issue. BNews reached out to Falconer for comment and has not received a reply as of this taping. More than a dozen seniors took to the Recreation Commission this week to complain about scheduling conflicts between senior fitness classes and rec programming. The issue is over a senior fitness class, which is offered for free by the Council on Aging, and typically takes place between 10 and 11 a.m. Paula Anton, a town resident who attends the class, told the Recreation Commission there had been one too many occasions where rec programming meant the senior fitness class was moved to a different time or placed or canceled altogether. Let's look.
And there have been way too many incidents where we have discovered that recreation programs have either been put in or around that time slot, creating conflicts with our classes. We have had to raise our voice to get something done, and that something has always been that the seniors have to change the time of their class to accommodate the recreation department. We're tired of not knowing when we're going to have the class or if we're going to have a class.
Representatives of the Recreation Department said it was a difficult puzzle to fit all the programming in limited spaces available, especially during the summer. Here's Commission member David Norden.
And you guys all know everything's changing, how the workforce works, how people's lifestyles work. And you senior citizens, we have to adapt to what's going on with the community, not only for you guys. And I understand that it is a free program that Council on Aging does give you, which is awesome. And I think you do deserve that. But I think we can work out a space. It might not be the gym perfectly that it's been all the time, but like if we work the Grandview Farm, let's look into it a little bit more.
Because of changes to state policy, Burlington Public Schools must solicit new bids for a food service provider just months after it began offering food under a contract with Whitson's Culinary Group. The transition to a food service contractor was rocky at first, with cafeteria workers complaining about disorganized deliveries and poor communication with the contractors. But students have enjoyed the different menu options with the new provider. In an interview with BNews, producer Sydney Bowles asked if it was possible the district stays with Whitson's under a new contract.
It is, but it's also possible we'll have to look at others. And I think the state changed some of their definitions, and we are impacted by bureaucracy as much as people sometimes feel they're impacted by bureaucracy when dealing with us, and certainly understand that. So I think technically the state viewed our initial awarding as an emergency procurement because it was mid-year, and so they changed the rules for sort of the emergency procurement, and that's why we have to go back and do a different process.
If Burlington does not comply with the new state guidelines, the state could withhold federal funds. The district will be on a tight deadline to issue the request for proposals and solicit bids before the new school year begins. This is again another example of the state taking tighter control of communities' business. Burlington is in the process of forming a committee to oversee renovating or replacing the high school. Town meeting in May approved $1.5 million for a feasibility study, which the committee will manage. The $1.5 million will go towards project managers, designers, and engineers to conduct the study. The building committee and feasibility study are meant to mimic the process the town would follow if it had been accepted into the Massachusetts School Building Authority, or MSBA program, which it has not at this time. Superintendent Connie and high school principal Mark Sullivan will be on the building committee, as will all 5 members of the school committee. Connie and Sullivan are also looking for high school parents and teachers to join the committee, as well as residents who live in the area around the high school site. Superintendent Connie talked at length about the new high school building committee in an interview with BNEWS This Week. He also talked about the challenge of managing building committees for both the high school and Fox Hill, a project that now includes Pine Glen.
Well, I guess it is, I guess, messier, but that's what the need is. And then we're trying to bring in some help. And I guess the fear that I have is, that I'll drop the ball on something or forget something that's critical. But again, have a lot of good help, a lot of talented people.
And a lot of goodwill, I think, from the town.
Yeah, no, and I think everyone sees the clear need. We're not sort of making up the building needs.
Yeah.
And then I think we're seeing a growing mismatch between the program we're offering and the spaces that we're trying to house those programs in.
The full interview is available at bcattv.org, and you can also consult the listing. It'll be on our regularly scheduled programming. A club at the Burlington High School is getting the next generation of young people up to speed on international politics. BNews reporter Tad Stefanak takes us to the BHS Model UN.
The peace and security of the world is in the hands of the next generation. At the Burlington High School, Model United Nations.
I initially joined Model UN as a sophomore. It was during COVID, and I just had a lot of free time at home, and I really wanted something that could really capture my attention, and Model UN happened to be that.
All those in favor, please raise your placards.
We're gonna have a little introductory session with all the people. I'll be giving a little speech. We're gonna have a speaker from Harvard, actually. He participates in Harvard Model UN. And then we'll all break off into our committees. My Undersecretary General and I, we will be leading the Men in Black conference.
Well, I'm going to help run the Men in Black committee. I'm also going to help set up the snacks, and one of my main roles will be doing a small presentation at the beginning, which is just sort of like an intro to Model UN, because there's a lot of procedures that you have to follow in Model UN.
I yield my time to the chair.
And we're probably not going to be super strict about it, but it's still good for kids to know, especially since for this conference, a lot of them are beginners who have never done something like this before. So it's just the basics of parliamentary procedure, raise your placard to speak, you've got a motion to do things.
Instead of just teaching me ambassadorial work and stuff, it taught me a lot of other things, like how to negotiate with other people.
This motion clearly passes.
How to properly communicate, and a lot of public speaking skills, which I'm really happy I learned.
I'm going to go into biology or chemistry, but I really have no idea what I'm going to do after college, so we'll see.
Yes, your first directive.
Special thanks to the town of Burlington for the use of the Grandview Farm. I'm BNews reporter Tad Stefanak.
Great job. Do you have any other?
Burlington Middle School students had an exciting visitor recently. Writer and graphic novelist Steve Shankin paid the school a visit and wowed students with his work. BNews producer Sydney Bowles has more.
Steve Shankin is the award-winning writer behind young adult books and novels like Bomb, Fallout, and Born to Fly, and he's a favorite among Marshall Simon's middle school students.
Most of it was really good. I have both of the Bomb versions, both Bomb books, and they're both enjoyable, especially the beginning. I really like social studies, and history is a major part of social studies, but sometimes whenever I read textbooks, they tend to be boring. But whenever I read Steve Shankin's books, they are very engaging. Like the first chapter in this book, it's like Harry Gold is a spy, and then the FBI is trying to find evidence in his house or in his apartment room, and then he's rushing to destroy the evidence. So that kind of captivates me. I'm like, oh my God, what's gonna happen next? I'm really excited.
Before he was a novelist, Shankin was a different kind of writer.
I don't like to admit it, but I always do when I go to schools, is that I used to write history textbooks. So kind of the big, thick, boring books aimed at the same age kids, and with lots of names and dates, but none of the stories. And I got sick of doing that. That was 20 years ago. So don't be mad anymore. And I realized I could tell all the same stories and all that same history that we all want our kids to know, but do it in a much more interesting and engaging way.
The presentation was a pretty big hit.
That was pretty cool because he talked about how he sets his books up and how it's related to movies and like films.
I've always wanted to meet at least one author, and he's my first author I've ever met. So it's really like exciting, and it feels pretty cool. And I also have his autograph now.
Schenken's visit was thanks to the Burlington Education Foundation.
The Burlington Education Foundation is, their objective is to support programs in the schools. This is definitely not something that's in the library budget to host an author of this caliber, so it was great to have the grant from them.
From the Marshall Simons Library, I'm Sydney Bowles.
While many of us were enjoying cookouts or trips to the beach this long weekend, members of the military community took a moment to acknowledge fallen warriors this Memorial Day. BNEWS reporter Robert Paris paid Burlington's memorial a visit.
Let's all take a moment to recognize our fallen heroes in the United States military. On May 29th, the Burlington Veterans Service Office and the Allied Veterans Council held their annual Memorial Day ceremony at the Chestnut Hill Cemetery. This year they commemorated the 50th anniversary of the U.S. troops leaving Vietnam.
Our guest speaker this morning was Dave Legere, who was a Vietnam veteran, served between 1968 and 1969 Vietnam. Was a Bronze Star Medal recipient. We recognized Norm Dooley with our Veteran Spotlight. Norm was a World War II Navy veteran that passed away back in April, and he was, a little shy away from 96 years old. And then, like always, you had Art Enos reading off all the names, and I know people, it's a big part of Memorial Day, especially if they had lost a loved one since last Memorial Day.
Vietnam veteran Dave Legere was present that day and spoke to all about his experience.
To August 11th, 1968. I was just turning 20 years old, and that is the date I arrived there to begin the 1 year that directed the next 54 years of my life. I was assigned to the 191st Military Intelligence Detachment of the 1st Cav Division. I was an Order of Battle Analyst, 96B20.
For Chris and David, they see Memorial Day in a different light as veterans themselves.
The military complex it kind of got me, and that's the guidelines that I use, and I'm proud I used them. And the big thing is effort, etiquette, character, sincerity, and self-control.
Recognize those that have come before us and our ability to celebrate the freedom we have, celebrate their lives, celebrate the lives of the veterans that are still living, and celebrate the freedom that we have as Americans to do that. Not everybody in the world gets that, so I think that's what it means to me.
From the Chestnut Hill Cemetery, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
Burlington's annual health fair returned recently with important information and resources to help locals stay healthy. BNews reporter John Vias and Anthony Bagney were there.
The Burlington Community Health Fair made its return to the BHS Gymnasium on Saturday, May 20th, with various businesses around town offering free services along with health demonstrations and complimentary exercise classes to promote the basic human need of staying healthy and keeping in tip-top shape. Reporter Anthony Bagney was on the scene.
So could you tell me, what is Title Boxing?
Title Boxing is a club where you can take boxing classes, do personal training, do weightlifting, do a bunch of different things. We're more of a club than a gym, so we like to uplift people and bring us together, and yeah.
What is Boston Children's Hospital known for?
We are the #1 children's hospital in the country, so that's probably what we're known for the most. But my program is injury prevention. So what I do is help kids not get hurt. So we do a lot of stuff around bike helmets and car seats and home safety, and we travel the state teaching kids in schools how to keep themselves safe.
So what is the Mama Bear Effect?
So the Mama Bear Effect is a nonprofit organization specifically for the prevention of child sexual abuse, teaching children about their bodies and how to keep them safe, but most importantly, helping adults understand how we can create safe environments for kids and communicate with our kids so they know what is safe and appropriate.
Board of Health Chairman Dr. Ed Weiner explains why a health fair matters in the town of Burlington and the importance of staying healthy.
Health is so important to this community. People do
don't want to be sick. We're just coming out of COVID-19, and people are happy about not having to wear masks. People are happy about getting back in the community, but they don't want to get sick. They want to live a long life. They want a good quality of life. And there are so many activities and so many programs right here in our community which can help them live a long and productive and happy life.
From the Burlington High School Gymnasium with Anthony Bagney, this is John Vias for BNEWS.
Excellent job by our rookie reporter, Anthony Bagney. For the first time, alumni of the Burlington Red Devils football team from as far back as 1982 will unite for a friendly competition in a service of a bigger goal. It'll be the first BHS alumni football game, scheduled for June 11th at 1 p.m. at the Marshall Simons football field. Varsity coach George Balian says the idea is to strengthen the connection between past and present players and hopefully to raise some money for graduating seniors on the football team. So far, about 50 players have RSVP'd. The youngest alumni are players from last year's team, and the oldest is Balian himself. He played on the team and graduated in 1982. The Burlington Mall is gearing up for an eventful summer season. It's released a calendar of programming stretching from now until October, including fitness classes, a cornhole league, and music sessions. Dance enthusiasts can join the Summer Dance Series on June 14th and 21st, and families with kids can enjoy an outdoor, self-guided reading tour in collaboration with the Burlington Public Library. The full calendar of events is available at the link below, which our crack staff has it there. We'll leave that on there for a second so you can memorize all of that. A new vendor is serving up some new artistic sweets at Made in Burlington. BNews producer Sydney Bowles has the scoop.
There's a new business sweetening things up at Made in Burlington with homemade cookies, pretzels, and chocolate-covered Oreos.
My name is Kieran Rana, and I am the owner of Kieran's Cookies. So I was just looking for party favors for my kids, and there was nothing really around the area. So then I just decided that, let's do some cookies. But then there wasn't many cookie options as well, too. So then I just started making cookies. I started YouTubing, learned on my own. I spent hours and hours, and then my kids played sports. So what more fun to have them as guinea pigs?
Kieran carefully crafted her recipes for maximum deliciousness.
Just the basic of just like flour, butter, sugar. I don't put almonds or almond extract in my cookies just because I know of allergies, so I use a lot of vanilla. I make royal icing from scratch. It goes on smoother. It's not buttercream. Buttercream is made out of butter. Royal icing is made out of meringue powder, which is dried egg whites, and water and powdered sugar. And then you just mix it, and then you get a right consistency of it.
She's even experimenting with TikTok.
It's been really nice just being part of Made in Burlington right now. I've been just getting a lot of inquiries like, hey, can you do this pop-up? Can you do that pop-up? I'm a little scared just to be out there in the front of everybody. That's just me, but I guess I'm not, we all need to get out of our comfort zone a little bit. So I'm trying, but, it's been fun so far.
So what's next for this budding entrepreneur?
I don't really have a vision as of yet. I think every day is a new day for me, just trying to see what today is going to bring.
With a mouthful of cookies, I'm Sydney Bowles.
Looks like some showers on the horizon this week. BNews meteorologist Peter Brown has your local forecast, and stay tuned for your community calendar with Gretchen Carey.
Well, hello everyone, this is Peter Brown with your weather for the next 7 days. Here we are heading in towards June, the start of meteorological summer. And starting our period on Friday, we should be seeing temperatures at this time of the year in the mid-70s, and we're going to be seeing temperatures in the low 90s, so a real nice summer-like feel to the weather out there. As we round out our period getting in towards the end of next week, we should be seeing temperatures in the upper 70s to around 80 at this time of the year. And unfortunately, that summertime warmth we're going to be seeing on Friday is going to be very fleeting, as we're going to see some cool temperatures and ending out our period with temperatures only barely getting out of the upper 60s to around 70. The only thing that's really going to remind us that it's almost summer is the length of day. We are actually almost at the maximum for our length of day coming up here. So unfortunately, in the next couple of weeks, once we get to the third week of June, we are going to see that length of day start to get shorter again. So as we go ahead, let's take a look at the Climate Prediction Center is calling for us here in the Burlington area in terms of temperatures and precipitation for the next 7 to 10 days. And unfortunately, looking at our temperature map, the only day that we're going to be above average is going to be Friday, and thereafter it is going to get much, much cooler. Very cold for this time of June, actually. Precipitation changes are going to be about average. We are going to see an unsettled pattern setting in here as we get in towards the next work week, as we see the chance of spotty showers almost each and every day. So as we go ahead, let's take a look at those 7 days of weather coming up. And again, starting on up here on Friday, temperatures very hot out there, a little bit muggy. Temperatures in the low 90s out there. We're going to see a pretty strong cold front come in from the northeast, coming down from Maine as we get in towards the latter portion of next Friday, and therefore that's going to bring in that really cool air coming in from southeastern Canada with temperatures only in the low to mid 60s by Saturday, and then temperatures rebounding a little bit on Sunday with that sun coming out. Then as we get in towards Monday through Thursday, we're going to see that chance of showers come in each and every day. Temperatures fairly pleasant on Monday, closer to average than, with temperatures up near 80, but then we're going to cool off again as we see that cool ocean air and cloudy conditions come in with temperatures barely getting out of the mid and upper 60s for the rest of the week. So everyone, get out there, enjoy the weather, and have a great week.
Hey everyone, I'm Gretchen Carey, and this is your Community Calendar. On June 6th from 5 to 9 p.m., the Burlington Performing Arts Parent Association is having a fundraiser at the Flatbread Company in Bedford. Take out or eat in, and a portion of the proceeds will go towards the BPA-PA students. On June 7th from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m., the Burlington Public Library will be having a presentation called Improper Bostonians with a History Project. Register for the Zoom event at burlingtonpubliclibrary.org. On June 10th from 11 to 2 p.m., the 3rd annual Burlington Pride celebration will be held at the Town Common. Come out to support and embrace our local LGBTQ+ community with music, dancing, crafts, entertainment, and more. I'm Gretchen Carey, and that was your Community Calendar.
For a full list of community events, you can go to our website at bcattv.org/events. Let's see what's going on with the Red Devils as the spring teams wrap up their seasons. Anthony Matos has the story.
Hey everyone, I'm Anthony Matos, and this weekly sports report. The playoffs have begun at Burlington High School, and everyone's got a spot in the tournament. The seniors of Burlington High School recognized their achievements during the 2023 athletic banquet. For more, we go to BNEWS sports reporter Robert Paris.
Senior athletes gathered at the Fogelberg Auditorium, where they were honored for their accomplishments in the yearly BHS Student Athletic Banquet.
Anytime you can honor student athletes, especially this class of 2023, just an awesome night. This class has missed a lot through COVID and things like that. The adversity they've faced and to be here in a full packed auditorium, getting awards and clapping and cheering for each other is just an awesome night.
Members of the 23 class were given special awards, including Grace Hannafin and Sam Wynn.
So I got the Joseph Norman Memorial Scholarship, and it's for my individual effort and desire, no matter like how hard it gets. And I was really happy to get this because I feel like gymnastics is a sport that doesn't get a lot of recognition. So I was glad that I won something and could show it for not just myself but also my team.
I got the Outstanding Student Female Athlete Award, and it's for displaying excellence in my performance and dedication and leadership, and I'm very happy I got this award because with like all my hard work, like I'm very happy that I could get an award out of it, and I'm very thankful for it.
Other athletes reminisce the great times they had and what they will miss from their coaches and teammates.
I'm going to miss the sports here, being on the gymnastics team for 4 years, 2 years on track and field, 1 on football. This place, I'm gonna miss school in general.
It's been amazing. Personally, I just played basketball, but it's been amazing. The whole season was great. My teammates were amazing, coach is great. Coach Connors, I want to give a shout out to him.
I think it's great that all the athletes got recognition. I think it was a great way to bring everyone together in the end, so it was very special.
100% what I'm going to miss the most is the wins. The wins, being together after a win, that's the memories that's going to last with us forever.
I mean, I'm going to miss it all. Like, this is what got me through school. It was like the joy of my day, spending time with my teammates. I'm going to miss it a lot.
It's been very fun year, very fun soccer season. I miss my coaches and my teammates.
I saw a lot of adversity through injuries throughout my career, especially my last favorite season. I broke my collarbone, and it's not about me, but it's more about the general idea of adversity, just fighting through life, and I learned a ton of life lessons through Burlington athletics.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun night, seeing all these 4 years come to an end, the sports, and I had fun.
Very emotional night for everyone here. You know, sports have been a part of our lives for such a long time, so it's come to an end for a lot of people, so it's a very emotional night for a lot of people.
Gonna miss being part of a team, like the lacrosse team. Miss going to practices and stuff like that.
I've been playing sports since like first grade. Like there's always been like kind of like that next goal like to keep in mind. Like if you fail, like there's always something after it. So like just for everything to like finally be done, it's like a weird feeling.
I'm definitely going to miss my buddies back here, you know. It's going to be a tough time without them.
The coaches were glad for the opportunity they had to experience this class and their dedication to their programs.
It's a great senior class. I'd say one of the winningest in Burlington basketball history. 2 league titles, a Final Four appearance. Eric, Ben, Aiden, just an amazing group. It will be sad to see him go. It was nice to see Eric win the Best Male Athlete Award. It's a sad class for me to see go. I really love that class.
They made program history, so they won the Middlesex League Freedom Division for the first time in the history of the program, and they also, for the first time in 19 years, can say that the Middlesex League champions. The last time the program's done it is 2004.
The athletic department will welcome the students with open arms whenever they decide to return to the hallways of Burlington High School.
I hope them complete success. I mean, again, anytime a class graduates, you want to see them go on and do amazing things. And I think that right now they're thinking they just want to graduate and be away from here. But in a couple of years, the best part about most of the classes is you have a huge number of people who come back who remember it, want to be part of it, and want to do some things around here, which is awesome.
I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Sports.
Thank you.
The softball team was shut out against Central Catholic 0-3 in their final regular season game of the season. Burlington will either compete against the 29th seeded Pembroke or the 36th seeded Plymouth South on June 5th at Marvin Field. We'll have updates on how the girls did next week. The girls and boys track teams competed at the MIA Division IV Championship on May 26th and 28th, where the girls tied in third place with Holliston with 58 points. As for the boys, they were named D4 champions after coming in first place with 100.33 points. You can check out the full results at bcattv.org/sports. On the first day of the MIA Meet of Champions, graduating senior Rithik Prakash came in 6th place in the boys 2 mile at 9:18. The events will continue on June 3rd at Fitchburg State University. Boys volleyball won their last game of the regular season on senior night with a 3-2, closing out the regular season with a 13-7 win. As you see here, we took a couple pictures from the event as well. I took these pictures from the MIA playoffs, where I traveled to the 6th-seeded O'Brien High School in Roxbury, where they were shut out 3-0, ending their season. 6 seniors are departing from the team, including Zach Aloisi, James Burke, Joseph Mira, Theo Visco, Warmelon Fio, and Sebastian D'Amico. We wish everyone the best of luck in their futures. Girls lacrosse finished out the regular season as the Middlesex League Freedom Division champions. The ladies lost against Masco 11-10, a win over Methuen 12-11, and a 10-7 win in Melrose. Burlington is the 9th seed and will compete at Varsity Field on June 5th, where they'll face the 24th seeded Ursuline Academy. Boys lacrosse had a 15-12 win over North Andover to move the record at 13-5. Burlington will be seeded 12th in the playoffs and will be at Varsity Field on June 5th with the 21st seeded Westfield High School. Boys baseball competed at the Brendan Grant Tournament in Belmont last week with their opponents Linfield on May 26th and Reading Memorial on May 27th. Against Linfield Pioneers, the Devils lost by 4 in the 9-5 loss. In the second round, they also lost by a point of 5-4 against Reading. Burlington finished the regular season 10-10 and are seeded 28th in the playoffs. The 5th-seeded Whitman-Hanson Regional is where they will be headed in June 5th. Girls tennis finished the regular season at 11-6 as the 17th seed after a 4-1 victory over Melrose on May 24th. Burlington was also named the Middlesex Freedom League Division champs. In the round of 32 of the playoffs, the Devils competed against Reading in the 16th seed on May 31st. Burlington couldn't get the job done as they lost 2-3. Macy Lalonde won both of her sets. Valerie Kinn and Julianne Piscale are the senior athletes departing from the team. The Red Devil boys competed in the Rohannes on June 1st in the round of 32 of the playoffs against the 26th-seeded North Attleboro, where they won 4-1. They advanced to the round of 16 of the playoffs, where they will host either Milton or Reading Memorial. Game date to be determined as is taping. For more Red Devil action, go to bcattv.org/sports and check out our Twitter page at BNEWS Sports. That's all for now. I'm Anthony Matos. Back to you guys in the studio.
As always, we end with Photo of the Week. Memorial Day was Monday, and Christina Nikitas sent in this beautiful image taken in Boston. Thanks for sending that in, Christina. If you want to see your photo featured on B News, send it to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line, Photo of the Week. And that's it from the news desk here at BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher, along with Anthony Bagney today. Thank you for joining us.